Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to show you this face right here. This is the face of someone that betrays a contract. I made a contract with this character, Jacob, to appear on tonight's program with me while I was talking with Charlie Fuerniss. And all of a sudden, he ran out of the room as we were about to get started. So apparently, he has broken the contract, and I'm not giving you lobster, buddy. I'm not going to give you lobster. So there, I showed you. That's Jacob, my cat. And I really, before we even get started with this interview with Charlie Fuerniss, I just, my heart just bleeds thanksgiving for the work that Charlie and Elaine do at Bourbon County Rescue, and for them giving me the opportunity to fall in love with a cat that betrayed a contract, okay? But I love my cat dearly. Live from Paris, Kentucky, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce to some and present to others the couple that are keeping America's pets alive. Charlie Fuerniss with us tonight. Charlie, it's a tremendous honor and pleasure to have you with us here, sir.
It's my pleasure, Ken.
Charlie, thank you and Elaine for giving us Jacob, formerly known as Dodge. I want to know, because I had picked a different cat. How did you all know how to match me with this perfectly matched cat who broke his contract with me tonight?
Well, quite honestly, and that's truly Elaine's expertise. She is the cat person in the family, and I am the dog person in the family.
So, how long have you all been doing this at Bourbon County?
Well, in Bourbon County, probably, well, we've been for about 28, 29, or 27, 28 years.
Wow. Wow. How many animals have you all saved over that span of time, do you believe?
Well, that's that's hard to assess. During the year we were, one was president of our local humane society. I don't really know what the numbers were that we had there, but to give you some idea, our biggest year this year we saved all 750 cats and dogs, rabbits, etc. through adoption.
Wow, it's over 750. Gotta ask you here, is it because of the pandemic that people are thinking of nature's pets as a refuge, per se?
Yeah, I believe they are. They're realizing when they're home long.
Okay, we're having just a few slight technical difficulties here. But what Charlie and Elaine do nearly 30 years out of Bourbon County is just simply amazing. And the number of cats and dogs that they save, they even save rabbits. It's just a miraculous thing. And I must tell you all um, that when I met with Bourbon County up in Maryland, they had picked out the most beautiful cat for me, and Elaine selected the cat, and we took him and we put him in the car, and I wanted to put the cat next to Mrs. Big so that she would get used to the cat. And I will. We're working on getting him back, Mary. We are working on getting him back. Uh, uh, one of the things that we did was put him in the bag. We opened the bag just to basically, touch his fur, get to know him. He jumped out of the bag. He looked up at her. He walked around on the back seat for just a little bit, and then the next thing you know, he split and went underneath the car seat. And so there we are, up in Frederick, Maryland, trying to push the seat forward and then push it back. And every time we moved the seat, he moved with the seat. It was like, I'm not getting out from here. And then finally, I grabbed the cat by the tuft and I put him in my arms. And at that point, it seemed that Jacob said, you know what? This is my master. It is a tremendous thing to adopt a pet. Now, I have been chastised by my very good friend Dave Milner not to encourage people to go adopting cats and dogs simply for the fact of adopting cats and dogs. Give somebody something to play with for a day and then they get tired of it and then you have a real problem. But the rescue work that they do in matching the cat, see, they don't just give you a cat. It's just one of the most amazing things. They literally match the cat to you, which I truly adore, because I'm not the person. And so let me just encourage them to please re-enter. Put this in there. Yeah, see, this is live. Everything's live. That's why I love live over everything else. Because they were going to show off a number of cats and dogs this evening that are available for adoption. And this won't be the last time we get them to come to TECN TV. You might note when you take a look on the front page of TECN TV, you see the beautiful Jacob, who this weekend had his hair done. Had his hair done and his nails done and looks so glorious and so Hollywoodish. And it's a different thing when you take a look at the cat before the grooming, where they're meowing and screaming about being in a cage. It's a soft bag that he's carried in. Trust me on that. A soft bag with pillow inside. But whining and complaining that I have been chained. And then gets out of the bag and then just walks in. Hey, time for my hair. Okay, thank you. You just really love the animal that you adopt. But adoption isn't for everybody. And every cat and every dog isn't for you. And so there are a series of questions, there are a series of investigations that must take place. I felt like I was having an FBI check, in terms of adopting. I was offended, to be honest with you. I was like, I want to adopt a cat. All I want to do is adopt a cat. Bougie cat Jacob. I'm like, hey, I want to adopt a cat. He looks like Garfield can. No wonder he isn't getting lobster. He betrayed me tonight. I'm not going to give him lobster. But I want to encourage everybody tonight, even if you're not adopting a cat, just to send an email to Charlie and Elaine Fuerniss of Bourbon County Rescue. Nearly 30 years in terms of doing this work. Literally. And they're out of Paris, Kentucky. And I want you to understand something. They don't have an oil well in the back of their home. They don't. They don't have a uranium mine on the side. They don't have a gold mine in the front. and they don't have the U.S. Treasury in the attic. They don't have that. Um, so those same cats and dogs that need to be adopted are in a way station, if I can put it this way. And it's very important that you support them because those animals still need their rabies shots. They still need to be checked by a veterinarian. They need food. They need other supplies. Uh, they have staff, volunteer staff. Yeah, we talk about people that drive all the way from Paris, Kentucky to Frederick, Maryland on a weekend so that people can adopt a pet in the Petco parking lot. Well, not in the park. Well, in the summertime, it's parking lot because it's easier. You know, and the early fall much easier. But in the later part of the year, they're inside of the Petco in Frederick, Maryland, and you see a large array of cats and dogs, and there we go. I believe that we have Charlie back. Charlie Fuerniss.
I am back in.
It's great to have you back, Charlie. Now I've been going over the fact that there are a lot of people that this time of the year, and because of pandemic, need somebody at home. They just need a little friend, and I want to ask you here, Charlie. Is adopting for everybody? Should everybody just run out today and adopt a cat or dog?
No, I can tell you that honestly.
What are some of the things that you're looking for in terms of adoption, matching the dog and cat to the person?
Well, as you know, you've already filled the application. We're looking for, in the case where people already have pets, we're looking for a veterinarian reference. We're looking for references, personal references from people who know them, things like that. And that comes, we have to weigh heavily on that because we're meeting these people for the first time.
Yes.
We like to get just a general idea of how we'll live in the and what kind of situation they have. In the case of a dog, fenced yard. If it's not a fenced yard, the cat, those are adopted as strictly indoor pets. So we do get applications from people who say, "Well, I always take my cat out for a walk or backyard when I'm out there and that sort of thing," and we kind of frown on that, but that's if we can find the right situation, we definitely will they put in like in the case of being dogs, border collies, Australian shepherds, German shepherds, things like that. We really put a heavy emphasis on people who have experience with those particular breeds.
Yeah. Now, there are those who, have a great love for big things, and but they live in a small apartment. Should you adopt a Alaskan Husky if you live in a one bedroom, one bath apartment? Oh, we just lost him. I'm telling you, I am so thankful for Charlie and Elaine and for the work that they do.
That
It's
probably I do know, and they do for the most part. It's not.
yes, Charlie.
I'm still okay.
Yep, we got you.
Yeah.
So, should an Alaskan Husky be inside a one bedroom apartment building?
Okay. Good. Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
There's much better breeds for that type of situation. All a very compact, maybe a smaller animal. Like there are a lot of the smaller breed dogs, uh, that would work out tremendously well in there. But some people do like large dogs, and um, but Great Danes actually make great apartments, and
Really?
part of the reason is they're so easy going and laid back. Yeah, yeah, they adapt very well. But uh, absolute bonkers in that kind of a situation.
For those of us who are watching tonight who want to adopt a cat or a dog, how long does it take to do the adoption process?
It is actually long. We have two, Elaine and Jackie Baker, a wonderful, wonderful volunteer. And it amazes me how quickly can applicants. Um, of course, really good applications where the references respond quickly and they have a tremendous vet reference, quality vet care throughout the life of their pet, that sort of thing. And we, those can be processed in a very short time. And actually, it was why that would be so soon. I'm really not ready. But and then there are others that where the information isn't there, and it just takes days and days and days to drag it out of people and stuff like that. So
Exactly.
it all depends on the quality of the individual and how they've taken it in the past.
Charlie, got to ask you here. Uh, you and Elaine take on the responsibility of caring for these animals. How much does that cost annually to you? And do you have donors and supporters? How does that work?
Well, fortunately for us, we have acres here in that we have a small farm here that we can house the greatest share of the foster, the animals in our rescue. We have a building set up as a cat sanctuary. We have cage banks and various towers that they can play in and stuff like that. And then we have play yards for the dog. Some of the dogs are allowed to read, the ones we can trust, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the annual expenses vary with depending on the animal. The shelters call us and say we need your help right away. We got an animal that got hit by a car or something like that. So immediately we're going there to pick it up, take it out to the veterinarians that we use um, to evaluate its situation and hopefully come up with a good. We've had puppies with parvo that they call us and say this litter's really sick. They really help, and you know usually first phone call they make.
Exactly. Now, is it a fair thing to say that you all are open to receiving donations of food or monies to help support your pursuit of saving those individuals, rescuing the pets?
Absolutely, it is. We take food donations. We take cash donations. That's or money donations. And honestly, our best supporters are our past adopters. Especially this time of year, uh, it's just overwhelming how grateful people are when they found the perfect match and stuff like that, and they're generous. To give you an example, we had a gentleman. He and his wife have had dogs pretty much all their life, and they were down to two, and they normally have like six. So he's adopted a couple of dogs from us, and when he came to adopt the dog, he paid the fee through the whole process. I helped him put the dog in his van for him and stuff like that. And a couple, and they were just the nicest people in the world. And I found out later that along with adoption, everything else, given for $1,000 for on the day that he rescued. So he's been a friend ever since. Uh, and so, like I say, we're just terribly, wonderfully blessed. Adopters really feel the connection and continue to support us. And the other thing, we don't write for grants or government money in any way, shape, or form. We said on that we were going to do this uh, ourselves and whatever help, outside parties wanted to donate, but we tended to use the public money to make this happen.
Now, if I'm watching this today or Christmas Eve, can I just pick up the phone or send you an email at the email addresses that you have here, bourbonpetrescue@gmail.com or rescuebc@hotmail.com, and just get a cat or a dog in time to give my kid for Christmas? Can I do that?
Well, that's probably not going to happen because only a day and a half, 2 days from Christmas, and that's truly one of the things that we have made it a policy not to do, especially puppies, make them Christmas because of the return rate after Christmas on those. Um, but
Mm-hmm.
we do adoptions, and in that short a period of time, we wouldn't probably be able to process an application unless it was
What should what
absolutely fantastic.
what should a family think about if they're going to adopt a cat or a dog after Christmas?
First of all, they need to consider their time commitment. How much time and effort can they put into the adoption process? Being a new family member into your home, just like when you bring a baby home from the hospital. Mom's going to take some time off of work, or dad's going to take some time off of work, and we feel that that's almost necessary when bringing home a cat or a dog to let them spend that time in. Sometimes where people make the mistake is the first thing they want to do is get it out and visit everybody and everything. And truly, the right thing to do is to allow them just to get them to their new home, to bring them in, let them settle in, and basically black out a couple of weeks just for them to really feel comfortable in their new home.
Mm-hmm. Now, in closing here, uh, there are those who have seen me over the past few months talk about Jacob and who is formerly named Dodge, and he has become the exceptional conservative cat for our network. And what is the hope that you have for people when they adopt their cat? Do you want them to just gush over them and fall in love with them like I did, or should be some little reserve in terms of that? We're talking with Charlie Fuerniss, ladies and gentlemen. There is some delay in terms of the.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah, probably a little bit somewhere in between. It's probably the, uh, the preferred method of bringing a pet into the new home. Obviously, you want it to feel welcome, so love and attention is very important, but uh, allowing them to have their space is important, and letting them to settle in, and they'll really tell you uh, if you body language and things like that, you really can pick up on exactly what to express and how they feel and if they're comfortable and that sort of thing. And really, really good trainers are able to do that.
Mm-hmm. Now, it should you plan to train your pet, or should you just train the pet on your own?
Well, that's actually it's part of our contract requirement is that you'll finish at least a 6-week course of obedience training.
Yep.
In the case of the cats, um, you've all seen the commercial cats and stuff. That it's an easy train. It's not an easy thing to do. Um, uh, but Bourbon for dogs is absolutely a training course, and we waive that because they are independent. It's very difficult, but when you find the right cat or dog, um, it's amazing how quickly that bond develops and how well um, how much better your life be with a animal.
I want to ask you, do you have any cats or dogs that you are placing for adoption that you would like the world to see on screen?
Come here, buddy. Come here. I I've got a guy right here.
Ooh!
Um, his, his his name is BB, and he came to us from Southern Kentucky, from a rescue down there, and he almost immediately he got a bit under the weather, so he's recovering now. But he's well on the road to recovery, and he's doing fantastic, and will probably be at our next event.
When
We've
is
already
your
gotten applications and things on him.
when is your next event?
I believe it's going to be on the 2nd of January in Frederick.
Mm-hmm. The 2nd of January in Frederick.
And to give you some idea, I got to figure out how to do this with the camera and stuff, but you can see he's got the spots like a Bengal has
Yes.
on his face. Yeah, he's probably Maine Coon and Bengal mix. So
Mm-hmm.
we're going to be a pretty good size weight, much like Dodge, or in your case, Jacob.
Yes. Yes. Wow. Because Jacob is about 3 feet tall now and moving towards about 10 to 15 pounds. It's a big cat uh, with an attitude problem because he betrayed me tonight. Is there a dog available to be seen tonight?
Well, I don't have him with me, but we have a small chihuahua here in the house with us that he's a special needs guy. He's got some, well, he's a little overweight for one, but he's got some physical impairments as far as walks and things like that. He doesn't do well on tile and things like that. He's really good on carpet or out on the grass or on concrete, but doesn't do particularly well out on tile or linoleum or that. But just this guy in the world, wonderful temperament, sweet as can be. Not what you would call an ankle biter by any uh,
It,
extreme, but
I
sweet,
gotta
sweet baby.
I gotta ask you here because there's some people who have animals. Should you just adopt another animal? How does that work? Are there some animals that are just like Jacob who wants to be alone and pampered, uh, or are there other animals that are able to be with other animals per se? I know I'm just joking. The Maine Coon cat is very reasonable. It will play with other cats. It will.
Oh, they are. They are. They're very good, and they make very good buddies and stuff like that with other cats. They're very cautious in how they approach. They're very laid back, let the relationship build, and that sort of thing. And we have had people that will adopt and say, "Well, I have to have my cat, the new man," um, and then the dog actually picks up the anxiety of the owner and feels like, oh, I'd be stressed because I'm meeting a dog, would actually be better almost for them to meet without the owners present, because the owners kind of sort of an anxiety to their
Now, Charlie,
they are
and give my kisses and hugs to Elaine for matching Jacob with us. But I want you all, you all to come back on a monthly basis to TECN TV, so that we can get as many of these particular cats and dogs adopted as possible. I have truly enjoyed talking with you tonight. And once again, if people want to donate to you, do they just send money to 262 Hutchison Road, Paris, Kentucky? Or should they just send an email to you to find out how to support your cause?
Either way is fine. Yeah, and people can do it online through oh gosh, what's it called? PayPal, that
Yes.
sort of thing. They can find that out. They can see that on our website, through Petco or through Pet Finder or Adopt a Pet.
Wow. I love you guys. Thank you so much for what you did for my family. I want you to know that Jacob has a staff that's awaiting him 24 hours out of the day. And we buy him toys to play with until he gets bored, and we'll find another toy for him. Thank you so much. We look forward to you coming back next month with more of the cats and dogs to be adopted from the Bourbon County Rescue. January 2nd is adoption weekend. Is that in Frederick, Maryland, sir?
Yes, sir, it is at the Petco store. Yeah.
January 2nd. What time should people line up to go there, or should they contact you first before lining up?
Yeah, they did contact first because you have to have an approved adoption in order to be able to, or approved application in order to adopt. So we don't do just walk up adoption.
And I want to also thank Mary Brockman tonight. Mary Brockman, my bouncer in chief in the chat roll, because she was one of my personal vouchers for getting Jacob. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate it greatly. You actually said some kind words about me. I appreciate that. Charlie, we love you. Elaine, we love you. Merry Christmas to you and to yours, and we will have you back next month to talk about the adoption process of cats and show a number of cats and dogs that are available for adoption. Do it right, people. Don't just run to the Petco and buy a cat or a dog. Adopt a rescue pet because they truly need you. God bless you. Merry Christmas, sir.
Merry Christmas to you, and thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you. Charlie Fuerniss, Elaine Fuerniss, thank you so much for matching Jacob with me. I don't know how you knew that Jacob perfectly fit me, and I want you to know, Elaine, because of you, you may have to have me at the adoption on January 2nd because Mrs. Biggs is about to throw me out for pampering the cat so much. So I'll need to be adopted somewhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to go to a commercial break. When we come back, more of the best in urban conservative talk. We'll close out this particular night with a conversation on the movie selections for the weekend. Yes, Bonnie Williams bossed me around, and we were able to come up with a number of great selections. We'll be right back with more right after this.